So you want to know how to promote a pawn? Well, that's a video for you. In order to promote a pawn, we have to be mindful of some important concept. The first concept is the king controlling the 3 squares of promotion. So why is that important? Well, now this is so important because the king cannot approach these 3 squares and cannot stop the pawn advancing through promotion, right? Because he cannot go there, and if he moves, cannot capture. So we promoted our pawn to a queen, and now we know how to checkmate. So this is the very important concept of controlling the 3 squares ahead. You always, if you can, you always want to do that, because now the king cannot stop the advancement of the pawn. But there's a big but that in chess is not always that easy. So let's put some random position, starting position. Now we're gonna see another very important concept that we've seen already. What is that? The opposition. Now that we get the opposition, this is winning. Why is that? Well, there are basically 3 moves that the black king can play. So if he goes down, we're gonna follow him all the way. And now we see that we can control these 3 squares, and this is winning. So if this doesn't work for the black king, what can he do? Go down and lateral, but we're gonna have the opposition, and we return to the same position we've seen. Or you can move lateral, and now we go the other way. Why that? We control the 3 squares. And again, if he goes down, we've seen this position already, right? And what if he says, okay, I'm gonna try to not let you advance the pawn. Well, you push the pawn. Now the king has to move somewhere, and you try to control what are the next 3 squares. If it goes down, then of course you're gonna push the pawn, and you want to control these 3 squares, and this is always the case, right? You always want to make sure to control the 3 squares of promotion. I mean, you can do it right, always as I say. If you can manage to do that, you are basically promoting the pawn. So what are some mistakes that you don't want to make? You don't want to make some silly mistakes like this, because now it's the black king who gets the opposition. If we move, he follows him, the opposition, and now there are 2 options. Go e4, we get this type of position, and that's what you want to avoid, because if you play correctly with white and black, this is gonna lead to a draw by stalemate. So I'm gonna quickly show you how to get there. Very important, if you defend, do not go there or there, because now it's the white king who gets the opposition. But you don't go back, take the opposition, very easy. And this is stalemate. If you don't know what is stalemate, is the king is not in check and cannot move. There are no other pieces, obviously, but he's fine where he is. So this is still mate. So that's one important concept to avoid. You always want to have the opposition. Place e3, we go down. Now the only move is to push e4. Don't make that move, make this move. I mean, it is a draw, but you don't want to make, you want to get, right? Now the black king gets the opposition, and this is a draw. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You always want to get the opposition, and you always want to control the advanced square. So this is it, but I recommend you to play against a computer so that you can practice, right? Take some position like this, put a king somewhere, and try to get the opposition and to control the 3 advancement square. Now, a very important concept that is gonna allow you to not complicate your life is the square of promotion. So what is the square of promotion? The square of promotion is a square that the pawn is making. And how do we build that? So basically what it is a square, right? We count how many squares the pawn has to be promoted. Like this is for 3 squares. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have to count that. And in all these squares, if the king are in one of these squares, then the king is safe. It means that he can stop promotion if any of these squares, right? If the king is not in these squares, then the pawn is gonna promote by himself. So for example, now if it's white's turn to move, let's make it clear. White can push the pawn and he's gonna win this, right? But let's make another position. Let's make it the same position, but with the king there. So now we can see 1, 2, 3 that the pawn cannot promote, because if we push that, the king is in the square of promotion. This is a very easy concept. You count how many squares you have to promote, 1, 2, and 3, right? And you build the square with 1, 2, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, right? This is in promotion. And by simply counting that, you know if the king is in these 3 squares, in this square, you will have to use your king to promote the pawn. Otherwise it's gonna be a draw. So if you didn't like the video, or you have some suggestion to make it better, please let me know in the comments. If you did not understand something, again, ask me in the comments. I will gladly respond to you. And if instead you liked it and you understood everything, then just subscribe to the channel, ask something you don't know that you want to know about chess, and I will make a video to explain to you. Thank you.